Hello, creatives. I totally forgot. I'm like, we're in the public group. We need to go up. So I was like, I had everything set up for the overhead view. So I apologize for the little adjustment before we go live. But I thought I'd show you something new. So I've really been doubling down on things that wreath makers can make in addition to their wreaths to put on their craft tables for their craft fairs or holiday events or whatever they're doing. So it's always about like, well, we can only take so many wreaths because we only have so much room. But is there some other items that wreath makers can sell at a varying price point, maybe a little bit lower, to appeal to all buyers? So we don't want to just have, I don't know, $50, $60, $70 wreaths, and then maybe a handful of things that are right around the $20 price range. So I thought I would really do a deep dive and try to find some things that a wreath maker can make to set up on their table, in addition to things like tree topper bows or angels. I'm trying to think of what else we've made, centerpieces, things along that nature. So today I was digging through my archives back in 2018. I taught my private group how to make ribbon trees, not the ribbon topiaries, although you can still make those. Those would be beautiful on your craft table, but ribbon trees. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make them. So before we get started, if you want to keep this video, click the share button. It posts this video to your Facebook page, so you have it handy once you go and grab all your supplies, which are super simple. And then you can go ahead and put yours together. Also, if you guys can do me a favor, Facebook, to be notified, you need to like and follow. It's not one or the other. They want both. I don't know why, but they do. So the like is simple enough, and most people have liked the page. But if you can click the follow button, which is hidden, the 3 little dots right next to the like button, you click that, it opens up a little sub menu, and it gives you the option to follow the page. That way, if you happen to be on your device, when they're going live, you'll be notified that there is a live going on, and you could click on that and go ahead and, be auto redirected or whatever it is. Also, YouTubers, a little bit different because these are going live to a Facebook group on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you'd like to participate in the live, head on over to Cat's Creations Reese and make sure that you're there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if you are busy and you want to make sure that you can catch a new video when it uploads, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That's all you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down, and then I'm going to go ahead and get everything situated for you guys. So let me show you really super simple what we're making. I'm going to show you how to make these. These are Christmas ribbon trees. I have this set that goes in conjunction with my nativity that I put out at Christmas time. So I'm going to show you how we're going to get this one started. And then we're actually going to make from start to finish a different, like a rustic country pine tree out of ribbons. And I'm going to show you how to put those together. So let me go ahead and pivot you down so you guys can get an overhead view. Okay. So we're going to pivot this down, and I'm going to walk you through all the steps and all the supplies. So let me go ahead and pull up comments so I can see those. Let me go ahead and click here. I just pulled my tablet down for today, so it's much easier for me to do this the old-fashioned way. And you'll see that things just happen much quicker when you don't have to hunt and peck like a chicken. Okay. So the comment is pinned for my website. So if you want to join my private group, that's where you're going to go ahead and head on over. We do both business and design at this time. So for the 1 fee, you get both, and then you get access to my entire library, discounts and perks such as the wreath kits that are now going on, and you can do that by heading on over there. So what you will need to put one together, well, you can put one together with any old size foam cone, and you don't have to be super careful to find, you know, sometimes, have you guys ever noticed when you go to the craft stores, it seems like little kids have put their fingers inside to push them. I don't know why that is such like an urge, but it's super fun. But if all there is the ones with like little push-in fingers, you're still okay. You can go ahead and pick that up. It will still work because you're going to completely cover your cone with ribbon. So, why are my comments being hidden? So, hi, Joanne. Hi, Veronica and Elaine and Ruth. Thank you for joining. Hi, Karen. Hi, Arvina. Hi, Belinda. Richard, nice to see you back. And Carrie. So, this happens to be a 9-inch cone. So I'm using a 9-inch today because I have little areas, like I have these little places in our home where we have these small little shelves. And I kind of wanted something a little bit country mountain Christmas. And when I looked it up, I can't find anything. So I was like, oh, I'll just make it myself. So that's what we're doing today. So this is a 9-inch cone. You can get these from Dollar Tree, or not Dollar Tree, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Sometimes Walmart carries them. You can check Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have the 9-inch cones, but you know, Dollar Tree is upping their game, so you just never know. So we have our cone, and then you're gonna pick whatever ribbon you want for your cone. Obviously, if you're doing something like this, it has an awful lot of ribbon on it. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm counting how many different types, 5 different ribbons. But you know what? This is super great to make when you have a lot of leftover ribbon. So I'm not sure if you're like me, I save ribbon and I just, if there's like a foot or 2 feet off of a ribbon roll, I'll just separate that by color so that if we're putting together a topiary tree, if we're putting together a ribbon tree like today, or you just happen to need an extra length of ribbon, that's how I keep all my spares because I hate throwing anything away. And yes, Richard, you're right. Don't we save it all? We save everything. So let me show you how we're going to go get started. So for the one here, this is probably the most simple method to do this. So what you would do is, let me go ahead and grab some metallic ribbon, 1.5 inches. Let's go ahead and grab this baby. Okay. So what you would do is all the ribbon pieces are 4 inches. So you're going to take 1.5 inch wired ribbon and you're going to cut them all into 4-inch pieces. And then depending upon how thick, how full you like your tree, where you decide to place your ribbons, you will only need, let's see, I'm trying to think. Like the one that I did that was 2 colors, I only used 80 pieces. The one that I have for my nativity tree, probably a little bit more because it's a 12-inch. And then I have 5 different ribbons. So, you know, you don't need an overabundance of ribbon. So what you're going to do to go ahead and start on the bottom, because we start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. You're simply going to, whatever ribbon you're going to start with, I'm going to do this one. So you would, I'm going to use pins because I don't want to make this one a permanent. So ignore the colored pins. You would go ahead and glue your first ribbon down, which is going to be the exact same ribbon you're going to begin with. So just like this, go ahead and cut that off. I'll remove the pin and then we can do an overlap just like that. So you want to kind of get the bottom part going because sometimes when you put your pieces together, you can kind of see a little bit in between. So let's go ahead and cut this to our 4-inch piece. So let's put a straight cut on this and give myself a 4-inch piece. Let's do a couple of them. So there's 1 and 2. So in a situation like this, all you're going to do for the folded ribbon trees, you're just going to simply loop these together. You're not going to pinch the ends closed. You're going to leave them open, okay? And then you're going to simply take this and you're going to place this right at the top of where your ribbon that you've wrapped around the base of the tree is. So I like to use 2 pins. So I would do one there and one here. And when I've done these in the past, I have gotten the 1 to 1.5 inch pins, and I make sure they have the little ball ends, and I make sure that they're all the same color. You can do all different colors if you want, but it looks nicer if you do them all singular colors. And then I just kind of poof those out. So then when you're setting it on the table, it poofs away from the cone. You're going to do the same thing with the next one. And you're just going to, keep that pattern going all the way around. I don't know why I closed this. Let's go ahead and use the white ones because those look nice. Just like this. And again, just put your finger in the inside and just kind of push that out. And so you're going to keep going just like this all the way around. And then you're going to, you don't have to come back in and put your next row ribbon. You're just going to simply, and I'm using the burlap, so ignore this color. You would take your next piece, and what I do on the second row is I go in between the other pieces. So I'd bring those down, put my pins in. There's 1, 2, and then go ahead and fluff that up so that you're building on this all the way through. And then you keep on going all the way till you get to the very, very top. And then how you finish that off is going to be entirely up to you. You could put an ornament on the top. You could glue a star on the top. You could put a bow on top. This one that we did before for the nativity tree, I just glued a, what do you call it? Like a rose gold or gold colored little ball. I cut the end off, pushed it down onto the end of my cone, and that became my little decorative metallic ribbon trees. And then when you go to store it away, everything gets folded flat so that when you're ready for it next year, you can just go around and just insert a pin or your finger and just fluff those up. I was doing it with this one here before we went live, and just kind of opened everything back up. And then you just fluff to your desired location and boom, you're good to go. So that's how to do the simple one. We're going to do the complicated version. I didn't show the group how to do that last time. We did this one all the way to start to finish because it was easier. And so I'm going to show you how we're going to build the country tree. Right? Richard says they're going to look like ornaments. Yes, yes, they can. So it's entirely up to you. So what I am doing in the country tree version, let me go ahead and pop these out real quick so that I can use the same cone base. I have another one, but I just don't want to open it. So I'm going to move those to the side, and we're going to do a 9-inch ribbon pine tree. So super simple enough, but it's a little complicated. So you want to have your hot glue gun handy. I have mine set to low. Reason being is you're probably going to, at some point, stick your finger in the glue by keeping it on a low temperature. Like mine is fine for being out in the shop where it's kind of on the cool side. So I can usually like just tap it and get it sticky, and then we're good to go. So you're going to make cones out of your ribbons. So the easiest way to make the cones is to wrap it around your middle finger. Let me go ahead and get it kind of close. So we're wrapping it here, right? We're doing it a little bit at an angle. And then what you want to do is you want to take this corner here and you want to make this corner connect to the other corner. So corner, right? I'm bending this one down. I'm not going to this corner, I'm going to this corner. So this corner to that corner. And then when I go to pull it around, this corner will meet up flush with the edge of my ribbon and form a little cone with a little opening. So all I'm going to do is hold it where my corners have met. I'm just going to put one small dot right on the corner of my ribbon, flip it over, and I'm just going to tap that in place because I need my cones to stay cone shape. So once again, I'm going to show you how to do this. We're making cones. So we're going to need, if you're going two different colors, like I'm doing a beige, and then I'm also doing a beige and green plaid. They're both 1.5 inches, but depending upon how you fold them, you get two different, you can get tighter cones with not quite a big of an opening. This one I think has a bigger opening because I didn't really pull it tight, but this one's a little bit more on the look you're going for. So let me show you how to do that again. We're gonna take our 4-inch piece of wired ribbon. I'm wrapping it around my middle finger this way, and I'm kind of pulling this around so that this tip right here tucks in, okay? So that it makes the transition of getting this corner to this corner over here easier to do. And then we're just gonna check for measurements. So like right now it's kind of coming up a little bit short. So I'm gonna just slide that around. There we got our cone. Hold the tips where your corners are meeting in your hand. I find if I flip it over, I can get to the corner right there to put a dot of glue, go back and just tap that in place so that that corner does not lift. So now we have our cones. Now you're gonna need, let me find it because I wrote them all down. We're gonna be doing 9 rows on our 9-inch cone. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the cone before. Is we're gonna get this started because sometimes, like I said, when you get those starter pieces going, you can kind of see the gaps in between as we're laying these in. Like they're gonna go like this. But sometimes, oops, on the very bottom, you can see a little gap in between. And that drives me crazy. So we are going to, right here on the end of our ribbon, I'm going to lay a straight line of hot glue so that that is tacked in place. Just pull that all the way around your cone, nice and tight. I'm trying not to have any type of overlap. Oops. There we go. Just like so. Peel this back. Put a line of glue in there. And tap that in place. Okay, so all that does is camouflage the very, very, very bottom. Okay, so we've got all the cones built. You will need to do a 9-inch cone, a grand total of 80 4-inch pieces. So with 2 colors, I have 44 of one color and 36 of the other. It will depend on how tight you decide to pack your cones in. So on the very bottom, we're going to start with the beige. And we are doing the pointy side up. So if you see right there, there is a point here. So if we flip our cone over, this is the side that we want to pin. So we're taking that point, I'm taking the end of my cone. Let me go ahead and open my pins. I'm just using these straight pearl balls and we're going right in on that point. So this way it fits flush to the bottom, okay? So we're just going to sit here, making sure the bottom edge is there. And you're going to put 11 pieces around the bottom. So this is why having your cones pre-done ahead of time just makes the process so much easier. And it doesn't matter if your cones, you know, have big ends or they have small ends. It does not matter. But see how this little in-between would have shown? So again, and I'm just pushing those all the way in. I'm lifting this up now because obviously they're going around the back side and I don't want to smash my cones. Let's go ahead and do this. And also the pins will help keep your ribbon in place. Because remember, we just glued it at the start point and the bottom finish part. And I'm going to be pretty anal about this one and how I like it to look. But that's how I am with all my design stuff. If I don't like it, I'll pull it all apart and try to find a different way of doing it. Okay, so now we're getting to, hey, we can put just one whole piece here. So there is the bottom all the way around, just like so. Just like so. It looks weird. It looks like a starfish, kind of. Here's our bottom. Here's the side. This is what it's doing along the top. We just have all these little pinned points. Gloria says, can you bring your camera closer? We will try. So let's go ahead and zoom you down. I'm just hoping that it should work here. So now we're taking our green and I'm doing the green in between each of the tan pieces. So we're going to do row 2 and there are 11 pieces in here. Just like so. In between each brown piece. Trying not to keep this out of camera. Sometimes I'm just fidgeting with my pieces to get them to fit better. Grab another piece. And we're just going to go around the bottom. Try to get that one over a bit more so we're right on target. Let me take this one out and move this one over because I'm trying to get them in between the two. And sometimes the cones that I make might be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. So you can just push them down, like squeeze them together so that they fit in the place you want them to go without having to remake your cone. And as you can see, this is about the height that I am doing it, which is just barely touching this row. So I'm taking my bottom of my cone and putting that right over this area here, right in between. And we want 11 pieces on row 2. One more piece right here. I'm just like playing with all the little pieces I have. And you want to keep them close. You don't want to have too much of a gap between. So if you look, really the only gap you can see, I really have one row literally right on top of the other. You want them nice and tight, but in between. So that's the look you're getting. And now we go back to our beige right over the top. Basically, you can see the pins, but they're in between. Now, row 3 also has 11 pieces. There we go. It looks so adorable when it's finished. I sold so many of these locally on like the Facebook Marketplace because I didn't really want to have to ship them because I wasn't sure how to keep these intact because it's just ribbon, you know, without it tipping on its end. Even though you might have put it in a box upright, the way we're building it doesn't mean that it's going to wind up that way on your customer's doorstep. So that's why these are one of those. Have it on your craft table. You can make it and they can take it. I'm going to re-glue that one. It looks like it's kind of lifting. And I want a fatter one. A little bit fuller one to fit in that space. Again, I'm still going right in between. And like I said, some are wider than others. Here's our last piece. We're just going to squeeze that right in between. And get that one in. So here is row number 3. Okay. Now row number 4 is going to be 10 pieces. This is where we start to lose one. So at some point they're going to start to overlap, you know, on top of. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You know, try to keep the pattern going of putting them in between. But as you know, our cone is getting more narrow. So things are not going to sit the same as we reduce our circumference going around our cone. See, like right here. Let's see if we can find a skinnier piece. And not by much. We know we're going to end up having to get a new order going. But just keep the same process going all the way around. Just like so. Sometimes hard to hold the piece and pin it at the same time. How much did I sell them for? Deb, I don't even remember. I think I sold them for $20, $25. Somewhere in there. Oops. So obviously, again, your cost will depend on the cost of your ribbon, because if you use very expensive ribbon, you know, your cost might be higher. And the thing that I like about them is they're lightweight. Like I said, I needed something for my shelves because I can't find anything for mountain cabin decor. So we're making our own. So there is row 4. So as you see, this is what we're building on. Just like that. Okay, row 5 is going to have 9 pieces. Always make sure that you're taking that like little cornered flap piece, and that is the piece. This part here, like our cone is kind of like a oblong piece. This is where we're pinning. because then it keeps your little cones flat like it would for a pine tree. Let me move some of these over here so I don't have to constantly keep reaching over. Whoops. And then obviously you can decorate them or embellish them however you would like. I like it simple. And at this point, I'm not really following the pattern. I'm just trying to put the next one in as close as possible. Just like a pine tree, it kind of has that staggered look all the way around. And we'll squeeze this one in right here. That's a little tight fit, but we can squish it in. So just push your cone in on the sides, and there we have the next level. How many pieces on row 4? It is 10, and then row 5 is 9. And then I started thinking, well, is it then 8, then 7, and 6? No. Like I said, again, it's going to depend on how tight you put your pieces together, you know, how close. You might end up actually having more rows than 9. But at least you have the concept here. So I am on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 6, and this is supposed to have 8. Can you believe I actually put together this entire tree? And then I pulled it all apart. Once I figured out how many pieces it had and how many pieces go on each row, I just didn't have time to start another one. So I just pulled all the pins out. I think I'm going to move that over because I'm just going out of the frame at this point in the camera because we're going higher up on our tree. And now at this point you can set your tree down on the bottom and just build from your base. Okay. And then these pins that I got are from Amazon. These are inch pins. So they're only an inch in diameter. I don't like the 1.5-inch ones. And that seems to be like what Hobby Lobby and most of the box stores carry. Okay. So there is row 6. Now we're going to tackle row 7, which also is 8. So, and you would think, man, really 8? Yeah, because I like packed them in there really tight. And so at this stage, because our cone is getting thinner, obviously when you look at the top, if I was to put my pin all the way through at the top, it's going to start to go out the other side. So in order to have space for my pins as we get to the top, I'm going to start pushing them down into the base. So no more flat, I'm going angled down. Oops. Otherwise, our pins would hit the other pins. Grab some more. I thought I had these left over from the first time, but I think I sold the last one I had. So I was bummed. I thought I had these. So I was like, I need some country Christmas stuff in here. I want that one down. Okay, so there's row 6. So you can see it's looking pretty full. Debbie, this is a 9-inch cone. They actually show it 8.9 inches, but 9 inches. And the diameter on the base, for those of you that are interested, is at the very bottom, it's 7 inches in diameter. And then depending upon what you decide to put at the top, you could go like 10 or 11 inches if you put like a little ball on top or a star or whatever you would like. And now we're doing row, are we doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 7? We're doing row 8, which is 7 pieces. And I think this one's actually going to have more. We'll see. Because I think at this stage, I might have to make more because I'm doing this one tighter, which is kind of cool because I really wanted the green to wind up on top. And when I did it the first time, I could only get 9 rows. So we'll see. It looks like we're going to end up having 10. Whoops. Okay. And then I'm going to need to make more because I made this one much tighter. So I need to get one more piece in here and then I have enough for the top. So, all right, Kat, what you do with your ribbon, girl? Okay. We are just cutting off a 4-inch piece. So for you just joining us, you get to watch me assemble our cones. So we go underneath our middle finger right here, kind of turn it at an angle, and we're taking this corner and matching it to this corner. This one we want bent in so that we can make a cone. And then as you pull this around and line those up, there we go, you get a tight cone. So I'm going to hold this here at the corner, and then I'm going to put a dab of glue right on the end to keep our cone shape intact, like that. And I'm going to take that last piece and we're just going to snug that right in here. So now this row is complete. So now we're going to row 10, which should have been 5. So now we're going to see how many people or how many pieces we're going to get in here. So again, angling down. Angle down. And then that means that the top piece should be 5. Okay, so that one fits in there nice. So now I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the green to finish the top. So let's cut these really quick and then we'll glue them, finish them up. So there's 1. There we go, 2, 3. There we go. So again, around your middle finger, tuck your corner in, go right to the end, and pull the other side of your corner down. Hold your points. We're going to flip this up, put put a dot of glue right there in the corner and bring that down. There's one. Going around. There we go. Push that in. Bringing that up. So you can imagine after doing all of these pieces, my hands were pretty coated with glue, but I don't want the cones to open. I don't want to have to use more pins than needed. Okay. Bend it around. We're going corner to corner. And because we know we're getting closer to the top, you can close those corners in if you want a little tighter curl, because you know you're doing your last row. There we go. Last one. Tuck. Fold corner to corner. Then we've got to get this side measured up, and then I'm going to close that gap by just tightening that ever so slightly. Okay, now this one is a little bit different. So I'm going to start with this, and this time we're going right to the top. So this sits right on the top. So there's one. I'm trying to keep them in between. We'll try, see if we can get them all 5 fitted up there. There's 2. I don't want them to lift up. I want them to stay down. So I'm still pushing my pinpoints down. And then our last piece will fit in right here. Okay, so that is it. That is our tree in a nutshell. So this is what it looks like from the side. It's just a cute little pine tree up at the top. A couple different ways you can decorate it. You can put a bow on top, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a bow and a star. So what you want to do is you want to keep things in perspective with, you know, what you have going on top, because you don't want a big huge bow, because the tree, you know, we want to keep it in relation to the size that we're doing. So we can look at a loop, and I'm going to keep my loops really small. So the first thing we're going to do is dovetail the ends, which is bring our wired edges together. We're going to cut from the folded side down to the wired point. And I think I'm keeping mine really tight. So let's see. It's 4 inches. And then I'm just going to hand tie this to like the little loop size that I want. Like, that's super cute. I'm going to twist, flip this over. Going to go back inside so that our loop's down here. We're going to twist so we get the right side of our fabric. And I'm simply going to do this. Cleaner on it, what I found is if I just took my bow the way that I have it here in my hands, I'm going to take it right to the top. I'm going to take my straight pin and push that all the way in the center. And now I can fluff my bow. And I'm going to go ahead and fix this tail so that we have a dovetail on here. So here is my little bow. make sure we're securing all ends. I want to keep the folds. It just wants to slide out. There we go. So nice, super cute little tree with a bow. And those make nice, super cute little, what do you call it? Like a gift for a neighbor. Just something super cute and simple. Again, like I said, the bow is not overly overpowering, and I'm still playing with this bow. I'm just going to fold one over the other. It's just right where my fold is. Just like this. So I also want to add a metal star to the top. So Factory Direct Craft sells these 1.5-inch metal stars. So we could even take one of these if we wanted to. So watch, I'm going to take this out for now. Yeah, you could put a frosted pine cone at the top too, Donna. That would be super cute. So I'm going to take my metal stars because they have little holes in the ends. So these are my metal stars, just like that. And I'm going to glue them together with the holes at the bottom. Oops. So we're going to glue one on top of the other and hope that works. We're hoping. Hence the need for a low temperature glue gun. And then I'm just going to remove the glue that oozed out of the side. So we have our little 3-dimensional. Because now it's not 1-dimensional with a hole in the center. Because this is how they come. You have like an opening. I don't know if you guys can see that. One is like a divot. And then it's like raised on one side. So I just took one and glued it to the other. And then we can take, and you could simply put your star right in the top, and then you have your metal star for the top of the tree. But I want to make sure that my end goes in there. And so super simple look. You can do it like that. Like I said, you can add your bow. So let me put my bow back together real quick. And I'll put my bow in there. And there we go. Let us, ooh, what do I want to use? Something small. Floral wire. Small floral wire. Let me get binding wire. Because it's so minute and so small. And then this way I don't have to fight with anything being on top. Binding wire. It's just like floral wire but with paper around it. Plus it looks super cute. So twist, and I don't have to worry about it coming apart. So just like that. And then I'll go ahead and cut that off. We'll fluff up our bow, hand tying it here. I'm going to go ahead and pull my star out. Where did our pin go? So there's that. And we'll put our star back in. Okay. So I have a metal star. You could also put a metal jingle bell, whatever you'd like. So again, metal stars, you can get 100 of them at Factory Direct Craft, just like these. They come in a bag just like so. So all you need is 2 rolls of 1.5-inch ribbon. straight pins, a 9-inch cone. We'll go ahead and zoom out. So this is the tree that we made for today. It's going inside Kat's house because I can keep this up year round. That's why I purposely picked these colors for our house, because it's green, tan, and brown. And then I also showed you how to make the simple ribbon wreath. And this one's on a 12-inch cone with a top on it. So what questions do you all have for me today? I'm going to go ahead and pivot you up so I can show you our tree this way. So look, here's our little baby tree. So our little baby tree is going to go up on the counter with our little wooden deer. And so it's all set and it's all ready for the Christmas holiday. So you can have a wide range of these. You could make these for people like myself who have country decor throughout their house. You could do Americana decor for people who have that Americana look all year round, like my dad. Country ones like this, you can do the regular ribbon. You could do the topiary trees. I think I've given you 3 different ways you can take ribbon and create something other than a wreath, and then these go on your table. And you know what looks really great is if you get them in a couple different sizes. Like you make a small one, you make a medium, and then maybe you make a 12-inch, and then you sell them as a set. And then they're super easy, they're super lightweight. This is perfect for people with disabilities that can't really get up there to decorate a tree. You can make them a ribbon Christmas tree to put next to their end table or on their kitchen counter. Anything else you have that I can help you with? Love the tree. Thanks for the inspiration. You are more than welcome, Belinda. You're welcome, Molly. She said, thank you. Will make great gifts and easy to make. Yes. So my whole goal this month is to teach you some great gifts that you can make and things that'll fit on your craft table. Because we've got a ton of ideas for wreaths and we just vary the different styles and stuff that'll go on them. But Thursday I'm going to take it and haven't quite decided what we're doing on Thursday. If we're going to do another craft that you can have for your table, or if we're going to just do a different version of a wreath with a different wreath attachment. So come find me on Thursday. Donna, great idea. She says, is it possible to string this with fairy lights? Guess what? Yes, you can. So if you get fairy lights, and you would put those on first. So you would, like as we did our row 1, we would do row 1, wrap your fairy lights. Go ahead and do row 2, wrap your fairy lights. And so each level in between here would have those fairy lights snug to the base so that you don't see the wire, you would only see the lights. You would just want to make sure that you don't buy a light set that is way too big to possibly put on your tree. But that's the way I would string the lights is, you know, start with the getting your first base on. And then if you want, you can wrap lights around, like how we put the ribbon on first, put your lights at the very bottom. You could even use pins to hold that ribbon or the lights in place. Then go ahead and put your ribbon branch, and then go ahead and put another row of lights, and then come in with your next row of branches. So great ideas that you guys came up with. I hope you'll come back and join me on Thursday. We meet at 11 Pacific, which is 1 Central, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And until then, keep crafting. Have a great day. Bye for now.